Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a review of 2.5 Dimensional Seduction, Episode 9. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to defend this show right now as we're getting close to 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. 24 episodes. I'm on Episode 9. I just finished this episode, guys, and I gotta say, there are so many emotions in this episode that 2.5 Dimensional Seduction, forget the name of the title, even though it says Dimensional Seduction. This episode itself was really the icing on the cake. By that, I'm talking about cosplaying. Remember, here's the thing. 2.5 Dimensional Seduction, it's not about fan service wise. This whole premise, this is why I like this show, guys, because this is about cosplaying. This is about the love for cosplaying. Take My Dress Up Darling, for example. Yeah, Kirigawa and Gojo, yeah, cosplay brings the love for them, and it's all about the rom-com between two polar opposites and how cosplaying brings the love for those two. But 2.5 Dimensional Seduction takes the story of two people who love cosplaying, who loves their girl, who loves anime so much that they will go over the edge, over the limits, to the point of why we love cosplaying. You see, cosplaying works in it's like love works in mysterious ways. Cosplaying works in mysterious ways. There are some good, there's some bad, pros and cons when it comes to cosplaying. And this show brings it. See, that's the whole thing. See, that's why we watch 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. It's about Ririsa, the MC, and of every cosplay, but this whole thing is about just cosplaying as a whole, because this is a show for us who wants to get into cosplaying or been in cosplaying. This is a show for you guys, and this episode has so many emotions that it makes you wonder, why you got into cosplaying. Because that's the thing. I tried cosplaying before. Even though I'm not good at it, but I try. And this is one of those shows where you sit down and you're like, you know what? I want to do some cosplaying. And that's what this episode was about. And that's what this show's about. So without further ado, let's get right to it with 2.5 Dimensional Seduction Episode 9. Because this was very emotional. So, at the last week's episode with Nagami, aka 753, or 758, I'm not good, 758 or 753, whatever. She has been known as the 4 horsewomen of cosplaying. Now, remember I said last week, she's the gender bending of the MC. You know how the MC, like Lily, he's into 2D girls, not 3D girls? This girl's into 2D boys. And as she's walking towards the spot to take photos, you know how they do those cosplay meetups? It's like that. So she's walking towards, and she's fell in love with the guy. She fell in love with the MC because he looks exactly like the freaking, like the boy he loves. I'm like, oh my God, this is another harem added. I mean, let's see. You got Ririsa, you got the childhood friend, and now you got the famous cosplayer who's now looking at you as you're the guy. You look exactly like my 2D guy. I mean, like, can you imagine you walk in, you find someone's in love, it's actually your character. It looks exactly like your waifu or husbando. That's who she is. Now, Nagami, yes, she's a dick, but something tells me, I don't want to get spoiled, but something tells me, even though we're on episode 9, I got a knot in my feeling like, you know what, she's going to change after this arc. She's going to change after this whole arc thing. I mean, like, someone got to put her in her place. But I feel like she's going to come to her senses and do something about it. Now, while that's good, let's talk about Ririsa. You know, I never hate Ririsa. I never hate her. I like her. I like her so much. She, for a young cosplayer to define the love for cosplaying, is in her blood. It's in her blood. For all you cosplayers out there, it's in your blood. You like to be in cosplaying. You like to dress up. You may not, it's like, yeah, it's good. And you want to express your love for the series. That's what cosplaying is all about. For me, that's what it is. Now, as Ririsa's getting ready, still nervous after what happened with Nagami just badmouth her, she left the important material, an item for her, to complete Lily as a whole, which is her skirt. Which brings me to this. The title says, "You're not Lily." That kind of like shocked because she says she don't want to dress up as Lily anymore. She don't want to dress up as Lily. I was hurt when she said that. It's like, you devoted your whole life for this, like for cosplay. You devote your whole life. And then when one person badmouths you about, don't do this, don't do that, get the fuck out of here, those kind of things, it kind of like stabs you in the heart. And that's what I felt with Ririsa. And she doesn't want to do this because there's just no fun in cosplaying. There's like, people take cosplaying way too seriously. And I mean, by definition of way too seriously, I mean to a point where I'm doing this because I just want that. Like, take this seriously, you know? And that's what pissed me off about when it comes to this kind of things. I like, you here to have fun. You go to conventions to have fun. You go to conventions, you have fun. You go to cosplay meetups just to have fun and meet new people. Express your love for the show. Express your love for the character. That's what it is. And the tears that coming down Ririsa's face is just hitch everything. But again, she left her skirt. She felt like she's doing a bad job, but it's mistakes. Mistakes happen. In the cosplay, mistakes happen. Now, Masamu, you know, this guy, this MC is trying to, in his defense, he's trying to say, what was the point of all this? We want to do this. We didn't submit the paper, but you're going to give it up after this? We come this far and you're giving up? You know, but leave it to the pros, leave it to them to like let her have her space. You gotta applaud Mayuri Senpai. You gotta applaud Mayuri Senpai for this one. She came out in a blaze of glory. I mean, from being a home ec teacher, you know, there's our teachers who loves anime. I don't know if you have teachers or professors who's into anime. You know how hard it is to find one of those these days? It really is hard. But she came out in those kind of like those straight up otakus, you know, with the face mask, trying to hide her face, all that, because Nakami rival is the sensei / Mayuri Senpai, you know, the 4 horsewomen of, you know, saying about she's retiring and all that stuff. But, you know, Mayuri Senpai is so freaking great. She's the MVP of this episode. She is the MVP. We got her backstory as to why she got into cosplaying. What makes her get into cosplaying? Because there was a few flashbacks where we saw as to why she retired and all that. But there was a moment in this episode where we saw her backstory as a kid who didn't have friends. And her friend got into cosplaying. She's the same thing to Ririsa, you know. And at one time she tried. But as years goes on, you get better and better and better. And that's what Ririsa's backstory was all about. But, I'm sorry, that was Mayuri Senpai all about. And for her, that's why I'm glad she brought her costume back. She went from like teacher to a professional cosplayer. And just giving Ririsa confidence in her. To get her some confidence in her. And that's what she did. From a teacher to a cosplay specialist. A novelist. Am I saying it right? But a professional. Yeah, professional. Going straight up on otaku mode. And just cosplay mode. Cosplay / otaku mode. And giving her giving her some confidence. And I like her for that. I really do. And then the MC was trying so hard to find the missing skirt for Lily's outfit, and he found it. Apparently, it was an accident. One of the cosplayers was in a rush and packed it in the bag. It was a rush. It was a mistake. That's what happens. It's a huge misunderstanding. A huge misunderstanding. And the way he brought out, he's like, you're not just Lily. You are Ririsa. You're the girl that loves Lily so much. You devoted your life. And in words like, otakus never back down. You're an otaku. Face it. The pride of an otaku is in your heart. You go for it. We're all otakus. We live, sleep, breathe, fight for it. And it's okay. I'm an otaku, I'm a weeb, I don't give a fuck. That's what he is. He's representing us as otakus don't give up. You love cosplaying, you go for it. I'm sorry I badmouth you, but you can do it. You have confidence. I love One Piece, I love Sailor Moon, I got all my stuff, I don't care. I'm an otaku, I'm a weeb, I don't give a fuck. And as way he's presenting it, it's the same thing. Now, the cosplay event is closing down. And it was, well, actually, let me go back a bit. It was so many emotions. There were sad tears and there were happy tears. This was so emotional that you can't even laugh. You can't even cry. I mean, I'm sorry. You can't even laugh. You could feel so many emotions. The happy, the sadness that is in this episode. Now, I like the way the ending is going to be in this way to keep the crowd going. Because everyone's taking photos of of Nagami. But as the episode's going to end, it's like, Kaori Senpai's like, you know what? We're going to hold the fort down. We're going to make sure Lily gets ready for this one. Which, by the way, next week is going to be a cosplay bloodbath. It's going to be a cosplay bloodbath. And you can't miss that. You can't miss it. It's going to be a battle between the pro and the almost pro. Two icons is going to face at it. Mayuri Senpai and Nagami. It's going to be a battle of wits between two professional cosplayers. And who is the top, the big dog? Who's going to be the #1 cosplayer in the world? And this next week is going to be a bloodbath ever. But overall though, next week was a very emotional episode. This week was very emotional. It was so many happy, mad, sad, the emotions of Ririsa, the MC, and Lily and Ririsa Senpai. It was just, I'm sorry, and Mayuri Senpai. It was so many emotions in this one that you felt it. You felt it. Just by watching the show, like, forget the fan stuff. This was all about, like, how cosplaying is and how we love to cosplay. Even if you may not experience it, you still want to try regardless. Like, you don't have to match the character, but try your best to do it. And that's what this message was about. Never give up on cosplaying. Never give up. And this show is like for beginners who wants to get into cosplay, go watch this show. That's what it is. So I look forward for next week's episode, 2.5 dimensional seduction, where it's going to be a bloodbath between the battle of this. I can't wait to see it. So stay tuned for that.